It's good to have you back. Now, this Women's Month, aviation professionals are encouraged to fly even higher. The National Aviation Gender Summit 2022 kicks off on Friday. And to speak more about the gender divide in the sector, I'm now joined by SA Civil Aviation Authority Director, Khoza. Poppy, thank you for your time and good morning to you. I think before we get into the summit, let's talk about why the summit even exists in the first place. You've identified a gap, particularly where women are concerned, and you want to address it. Where's the gap?
So thank you very much for having me. So, civil aviation remains one of the sectors that remains untransformed, both from a gender perspective as well as racially. On Friday, we'll be focusing specifically on the gender parity issues and to continue to have the discussion about where are the gaps, why are we struggling, to transform from a gender perspective after so many years. And we'll be joined by the captains of the industry who will be also charting the way forward in terms of what is it that we need to do, because we are saying the time of talking over and over about issues, we now need leadership from the captains of the industry. 2 years ago, the Minister of Transport led this charge again, and we had the captains of the industry signing the pledge, committing to create space for women in leadership positions, but also in professional technical environments. So right. The conversation cannot stop until such time that we have seen the meaningful transformation happening, particularly, making it possible for the young girls who are growing up having aspirations to join this sector to have a space, to contribute meaningfully to this sector of our economy.
And I understand that, Saka, just in terms of you having a conversation with me this morning, but also hosting this gender summit on Fridays, it's a way of you heeding the call, right, by the International Civil Aviation Organization during this 2016 ICAO Assembly resolution of encouraging, member states to support policies, to have programs with which, women issues can be discussed, to have, programs and improved projects and so forth. Why do you think policies supporting women are not supported enough? They're not encouraged enough. They're not spoken about enough in 2020?
This is a global issue. Gender parity is a global issue. So the resolution that you've reflected on for 2016 did not stop there. And I think we sit in a very, I would say, blessed, we are in a position, we are a blessed country, so to speak, a country that embraces a transformation, that embraces, gender equity, gender empowerment, and so on. We took it a step further. Not only did we go to the UN agency and have a discussion about issues of gender in civil aviation, but we equally hosted a Global Aviation Gender Summit, the first ever to be hosted in the world, in Cape Town, in South Africa. And, it was quite pleasing to see how much other countries are equally struggling with the issues of gender parity. Not only did we stop there, we then established or initiated the National Aviation Gender Summit, which happens on a yearly basis. And we are saying, let's build on the successes of our own country, where we see in the cabinet transformation in parliament. We are now seeing in the civil aviation space, the state-owned companies, particularly those that are reporting under the Department of Transport, being led by women. Airports Company South Africa, there's a woman CEO, Air Traffic Navigation Services, woman CEO, South African Civil Aviation Authority, woman CEO, and we are also led by a female Deputy Minister of Transport. And in civil aviation, just to demonstrate that it's not all so bad, there are other successes that we've recorded in the recent past. The Civil Aviation Authority, for instance, in terms of women representation, we're sitting at 51% women and 49% males.
Right.
But it can't just be, successes here and there. We need to look at the global picture and say, where are the gaps? Where are we're not, hitting the call? What are the challenges? And the discussion on Friday will really be focusing on, yes, let's celebrate the successes, but let's focus more on the challenges that, continuously create these barriers such that a young girl in Mutu, who's never seen an airport, firstly, they don't know anything about civil aviation. And how do we make sure that we create that awareness but also mobilize the resources such
Absolutely.
that, young girls are able to also consider civil aviation as an alternative career.
Yeah, and just briefly before I let you go, Poppy, take us through some of, the, I suppose, speakers that will also be, gracing this gender summit. This is the National Aviation Gender Summit for 2022. Who will be then gracing your presence and having one or two few words to share at the summit?
So we have the Deputy Minister of Transport will, of course, officiate the summit. We have all women CEOs from the airport side, Air Traffic and Navigation, Civil Aviation Authority, the airlines. We have women from, the general aviation sector, and some from, the government, relevant government departments.
All right.
So it's going to be quite an interesting, and at CEO level, because we are saying the leadership must demonstrate leadership, and they must also commit and indicate what is it that we need to do to change, the picture.
Couldn't agree more with you there. Thank you so much, Poppy Khoza, Director at the South African Civil Aviation Authority, for joining us this morning, talking to us about the National Aviation Gender Summit for 2022. And 350 delegates, of course, expected, predominantly women in aviation. We understand that professionals and various reps will be joining there. This to promote civil aviation in this country. Thanks, Poppy.